morning and welcome to Living Local 15. I'm your host, Jessica Williams. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It's time to grab a cup of joe and enjoy the show. We are continuing our education for Health Month, Heart Health Month to be exact. And today I am joined by Clean Eatz, which is a healthy food option that offers cafe items and also meal prep plans. Their food is so delicious and they're going to share some new items on their menu. Then it is Money Monday with Foster Financial, and today we are diving deeper into tax strategizing. And then a little bit later, our Best Reviews team will share with us kitchen essentials at a great price. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
This segment sponsored by Clean Eatz. As you know, February is Heart Month, and it's also still the beginning of the year. So there's time to think about the best ways to eat, and not only eat, but eat cleaner. And joining me today is Clean Eatz Mike Burnett, their owner. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, Jessica. I'm so good.
Good. Okay, so healthy choices is what we're all looking for. But you know something interesting about what people do around this time of year with the resolutions?
Yeah, it's funny. I was looking into that before I came over, and 82% of New Year's resolutions are about, I want to get healthier and I want to eat healthier this year. And so that's good. That's promising that so many people are worried about that. So how do you go about that, right? Because what we find is that within 1 week, 22% of people just stop. They quit in a week. And within 3 months, 82% of people quit.
Oh, wow.
And so,
it's like the rest of them.
Yeah, and so it's hard to create a healthy habit that you stick with. And so what I think that Clean Eatz can be for a lot of people is that healthy habit that you can stick with, because we're constantly changing the menu. We're constantly coming out with new meals, some of which we brought today, and we'll talk more about that. But I think that's a big part of it.
It is. And people need choices. If you go to the grocery store, you're looking at the same maybe 5 meals that you could be selecting, especially if you don't have time to cook every day. Who wants to cook every day? When you have someone like Clean Eatz, that you all actually make these packages fresh.
Right.
People can come in each day and order it right off your menu or take these to go. And I think that that's a component that people need to incorporate in their lives more.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that we've sort of focused on is trying to create stuff from as the least amount of processing as we can get. A lot of the boxes in the middle aisles of the grocery store, right? There's a lot of processed chemicals and preservatives and things in there, and we try to avoid that stuff. We're not adding salt, sugar, butter, or oil to any of our meals. And each one of these meals is made fresh in our cafe. We're making meals in the cafe 6 or 7 days a week, and then putting them straight in the fridge or putting them straight in the freezer with healthy ingredients like the things that you see here. Yeah,
well, let's dive into it, because I see some new options here.
Yeah.
It smells so good and it looks so fresh.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a new one. I haven't seen this one, right?
I love this one. It's got a really good flavor. It's a lemon pasta.
Yeah.
So what you've got in here is penne as the base. There's a lemon sauce that we make in the cafe with grilled chicken and then fresh asparagus.
Ooh, yum, yum.
So that's a good one. Simple. There's not a ton of ingredients, but yet you're getting the healthy vegetables that you need. You're getting the protein. And some carbs too, which you need. Carbs are required. You can't get around it. Like, it's part of energy. And if you don't eat them, right, you're gonna feel down and like you don't have the energy that day.
And it's all about moderation, right?
Yeah, and that's a big thing.
Don't eat a whole big old bowl of pasta, but you can have a little bit. Not to completely cut it off.
I'm glad you said that, because one of the things we do is we weigh the ingredients. So in this particular meal, there is 4 ounces of pasta.
Oh, okay.
There's not 5 or 6 or 3, there's 4. And we will do that for each of these meals. We'll weigh the ingredients so that the macros, right, the calories, the fat, the protein, the carbs, are balanced in each meal, and that's what we're going for. And we post that right in the front of the meal. So you can see on the front of every meal, right, what's in it in terms of ingredients and what's in it from a carb, fat, protein, calories perspective too.
It takes 2 to 3 minutes just to heat it on up. Okay, what is this dish? This is the buffalo, right?
This is our most popular dish. If you had asked me what it would have been prior to opening, I don't know that I would have guessed that. just because I probably wouldn't have come up with it. I love it. It is definitely a delicious meal. Again, super simple. You got 4 ounces of pasta. There's a cheese sauce. There's a buffalo sauce and some grilled chicken.
Yeah.
And it's delicious and top seller. If I don't have it, I get in trouble.
Yeah.
So it's always there. If you come in, we'll always have that one for sure.
And then you have a nice glazed salmon. That looks so good. What's under it?
That is a kale and quinoa base. So it's brown rice with quinoa and some chopped up kale. And then the salmon is, we actually use wild caught salmon. We don't believe in the farm raised stuff.
Yeah.
And so we pay a little bit more for that because it's better for you and it tastes better. And then that is our teriyaki sauce that, again, we make in-house.
Yeah,
and then
so
some fresh green beans there. Delicious meal.
Okay, and then it's okay to add on some cheese. Like people think about, what can I eat, what can't I eat to stay healthy? But this one has some fun with it.
It does. So this is our Big Boy. We actually have in the cafe, it's a wrap called the Big Boy.
Yeah.
So this is sort of the contents of the wrap. We're leaving the tortilla out. And so you have a base of brown rice, again, 4 ounces. We're going to measure it. You have a black bean and corn mixture, and then grilled chicken. And then it's got our sweet chili sauce and 0.2 ounces of mozzarella.
Ooh.
Again, we're going to weigh it and make sure you don't get too much, too little, macro
Just
balanced.
enough.
Exactly
Just enough.
right.
And then what is this fun one?
So I love, one of the proteins that we have, and we try to use this a lot because it's delicious and people love it, is a ground chicken product. And this is sort of like a chicken sausage, much healthier than pork sausage. And we put that on top of some stuffed shells. Again, a little sprinkle of mozzarella, some marinara sauce, and that's a delicious meal. And so rather than say, hey, we're going to remove it from your diet, what we look at is how can we make these things healthier? So in terms of our pizzas, we have 2 kinds of crust. We have a cauliflower crust and we have a wheat crust, but both of them are super low in terms of calories. And so again, if you measure the cheese and you keep a healthy crust and keep healthy toppings on it, you can make a healthy pizza. That whole pizza.
Oh, that's a brisket.
Oh yeah, our brisket's
brisket.
awesome.
Ooh, yummy. Look at that.
It's good stuff.
Oh, that looks so good. So as people are just really being able to come in and find the selections, about how many do you keep in that you rotate?
Great question. So we have both fresh meals like these ones that I'm showing today. We also have the same kinds of meals frozen in our lobby. So in the lobby, the grab and goes that are frozen, there's 1,600 meals, over 75 different varieties. And we change them all the time. So it's not the same 75.
Right.
So you're not going to get bored. We've got a ton of variety, which again, you talk about habits. One of the reasons why people get out of habits, healthy habits, is they get bored.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to eat the same, chicken, rice, and broccoli every week, right, this is an alternative.
Well, I'll say a little insider tip for those watching, because I've had many of your meals. I love the size of the containers because literally they're so easy to be stacked, right? So you just grab one and go, and then they're so durable. You wash it and use it as plastic containers later on.
So many people reuse these, and people use them for their storing their arts and crafts. And I met a guy that said I use these containers for storing nuts and bolts in his garage, and he labeled them. So I mean, all kinds of stories I've heard.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So I see that you have some healthy snacks over here.
We
So what do you
do.
bring?
We do. We get asked all the time for, well, what about between meals, right? How can I eat something healthy? Here's some dark chocolate Buckeyes that we make in the cafe. And those, we actually added protein powder, and there's no added sugar because, again, we don't have sugar in the cafe. So I brought the white chocolate version as well.
I hadn't had the white chocolate. I had the dark one. So good. So
Got some
peanut
heart
buttery.
sprinkles on there.
And then, what are these, PB&Js?
So again, following along in the same logic, right? How can I get a healthy snack between meals? And so one of the things we came up with are these little PB&J snacks. And again, we did a low sugar peanut butter and jelly, and we added protein to them.
So let's just talk about the heart side of it real quick, because you have a heart in your logo, literally.
We do. And it's Heart Health Month, right? Month of February. And so part of the reason that we have the heart in the logo is we're actually focused on heart health. And I mentioned earlier, we don't add salt or sugar or butter or oil to these meals because those things aren't good for heart health. And so, especially sodium, but sugar as well. And so we're trying to make these meals as healthy as we can with, again, heart health focused in mind. And so that's a way to do that. So, combination of vegetables, lean proteins, and removing all those bad things from the meals, that's really a good way to go about heart health. That, and if you add in exercise, right, of course, you can't get around that.
Got to keep moving.
Yep.
Keep moving. Have a healthy meal for lunch and for dinner. Change it up at Clean Eatz. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mike.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you. And if you would like more information about Clean Eatz, we'll have their website listed below. You can actually go on there and browse everything they have to offer, from their in-store cafe, their fresh items, and also their frozen items. And I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Clean Eatz.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. Hello and welcome to Money Monday with Foster Financial. Today I'm speaking with Vice President Caleb Doan. Good morning, Caleb.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thanks very much.
Yes. Okay. So right now we are completely immersed in tax season. So people are thinking about all types of ways that they need to really figure out their money, how to make their money work for them, and also strategize. So what tips do you have for us today?
Yeah. So people are starting to get all those 1099s and W-2s in the mail. They always seem to come later and later every single year. It seems like you're just waiting on people to send you these forms. But one of the things we think about a lot at our firm is, not only the investment side of things, which of course we take care of for clients. We actively manage their funds. But we kind of had this added service too of tax strategizing for all of our clients. So we like to see, where could we possibly save you money when it comes to your finances? And most of the time, this isn't being done for clients because their investment advisor is saying, hey, maybe that's more of the CPA's job. But the CPA says, hey, I'll file your returns, but I'm not really looking at your statements to see where you could possibly save money. So that's where we kind of stick our hand up and say, hey, we will take care of this for you. We're happy to do it.
Yeah, and now is the time to start evaluating it because we're in February. Tax deadline is April. Yeah. And though that seems like it's not too far away, it comes quick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, so how are ways that people can actually save money?
Yeah, there's a whole host of them. And typically, no matter whether you're younger or older, retired or still working, there's likely something that can be done to help you save taxes over the course of your life. A lot of times, people are most focused on saving the most amount of taxes this year, right? So they're saying, hey, I'm filing taxes for 2024. How do I get the biggest return? We kind of change the conversation a little bit and say, okay, how can we save you the most taxes over the course of your life? Does it actually make sense to pay a little bit more now to save even more later on? And that might be the case for people. So, we do things like Roth contributions, Roth conversions, qualified charitable distributions, tax loss harvesting. There's just this whole list that we kind of take clients through. There might even be donation strategies that we use for clients. There's a lot of things that we look at, and typically there's something that applies to everyone.
Okay, and I'm sure people kind of get confused with all the different ways, especially how it applies to them. Right. Each thing has a certain age limit, a certain type of account that you can save on. And so how do you kind of navigate your clients through that state of confusion?
Oh, yeah. It's easy to kind of get confused or not really know all the strategies that are being used. So first, we take an educational approach to all of this. So we try to educate the clients. We take almost everyone through a financial planning process where we print out, write out a financial plan for them and give it to them. And that has a lot of education in it on the different types of tax strategies that we'll be using for them. And also, we try to bridge the gap between the financial advisor and the CPA. Because most of the time, if a financial advisor does something like a Roth conversion, the CPA might not know that took place. And so the client gets a 1099, and it's not going to say that a Roth conversion happened. So we actually make a tax letter for our clients at the end of the year. We send it to them, and it says all those different strategies that we use. So it'll say...
It says the strategies.
Yeah, and it'll say, hey, we did a $50,000 Roth conversion. They did $10,000 of qualified charitable distributions. They contributed $7,000 to their Roth IRA. It lays it out just so the CPA can know how to code things correctly from that 1099.
Interesting. Okay, so still though, people need to be in partnership with their tax with their wealth management firm and their CPA in order to get that done. So this tax letter is something unique. Do you think that's something that differentiates you all from other wealth management firms?
Yeah, certainly. It's a piece that a lot of clients who come to us maybe from other firms say that, hey, this is very helpful. I felt like, I had to play the middleman before between my CPA and my, investment advisor. Now it seems like that kind of gap is bridged a little bit. So we're happy to work with all CPAs, and sometimes CPAs might not even be familiar with the strategies that we use, or maybe they just don't use them very frequently. And so we love chatting with CPAs, telling them why we're doing certain Roth conversions. And sometimes it makes them realize, hey, this could be a really great thing for some of my other clients, and there can be a really good relationship there.
And then on the flip side, so that's like now taxes are coming and then you're looking at what your contributions were. How do people start investing with having their taxes in mind?
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's kind of a lot of different strategies we use for that. That's kind of a contribution strategy going forward. And one of the main things that we look at is when somebody's working, should they be contributing Roth to their 401k, or should they be contributing pre-tax or kind of traditional to their 401k? And it's different for everyone. It kind of depends on what your tax bracket is now, what it will be in retirement, when you plan to retire. Sometimes those folks that are retiring earlier might need a heavier Roth strategy. So it ranges, but we certainly take a look at the contributions going forward. That way you can set yourself up for success later on.
And you all send this tax letter out in January.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And people should get all their forms by the end of January, typically, right?
You'd hope. I mean, usually W-2s and usually 1099-Rs from your IRA account come out in January. I've seen a lot of brokerage accounts not have the 1099 come out until mid-February, sometimes late February. Sometimes there's corrections that get sent out later. I mean, a good rule of thumb could be get all your tax docs, bring them to your CPA, and tell them, here's everything, but maybe wait until early April to file it just in case we get something else in the mail. That can sometimes save a headache.
Okay, that's a good tip. Thank you so much, Caleb.
Yeah,
Good
thank
to
you.
see you. And if you would like more information about Foster Financial, we'll have their phone number listed below. You can give them a call for your complimentary consultation. And now is the best time to get all your documents in order. And I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial.
In today's busy world, it seems like there's never enough time for everything on your to-do list, especially when it comes to cooking. But setting yourself up for success in the kitchen will help you save time and money. And joining us now with some top trending kitchen essentials to help you with your next meal is Senior Director of Content Operations from BestReviews.com, Jacob Palmer. Jacob, so good to see you.
Thanks for having me. We test things in the Best Reviews testing lab, but you want to know what's the best, and you also kind of want to be able to follow the trends, and that's something that we're also always on top of.
Yeah, and I think that one of the most important things when it comes to cooking is the pan that you have. So what is great with these ones?
You mentioned the cookware sets. This is a great example of something that people can refresh for the new year. This was our favorite stainless steel, and it's from Viking. It is super impressive stuff, and what's great about it is that it makes it a little bit easier with the stainless steel, is that it is non-toxic, and it makes it a little bit more peace of mind when you're cooking for the family.
Absolutely, and speaking of peace of mind, we saw recently where everyone was throwing out anything that was black in the kitchen. So what do we need to be replacing all those black plastics with?
These are some silicone spatulas. What we love about these is that they are non-toxic. They're BPA free, everything you come to expect. They're they're tempered correctly. And like you said as well, they come in a bunch of different colors. And so what's great about that is that you can kind of customize them to your own kitchen, your own aesthetic.
I don't know what this gadget is, but tell me how it's going to help me out.
Perfect. I'm so happy that you don't know what it is, because this absolutely fits the bill of making it easier. You don't want to put some overcooked piece of leather on the table, and you definitely don't want to put something undercooked on the table that's going to get people sick. So that is where the smart thermometer comes in, and this is from Smart IQ. And what we love about this is that it is super affordable. They're running a deal on it that right now that's great. It's going to make it less than $70, but it's also an awesome piece of tech where it'll sync with your phone. It'll tell you when to flip it. It'll tell you when to take it off of the heat, and it'll even tell you how long to let it sit for and let it kind of rest. So absolutely love this.
That's incredible. table. I don't know why, but I get so excited when it comes to the things to put away all your leftovers and or bring it to lunch the next day.
And it's a great reminder that sometimes they can be a little bit old, they can be a little bit tired, and this is a good time to re-up. These are from Full Star, which is one of our favorite gadgets brand that's out right now. They always have great prices on everything. And as you can see on the table here, this is just a small collection of the different sizes you can get.
Those are great. I also love the kind of organization that I'm witnessing over there as well. What does that do?
This is the measuring spoons. And so this is great because this is like an ultimate, I think, evolution of something that everybody's had for, probably generations and generations. And what's cool about this is it comes with a bunch of different things. One that I'm really excited about is that it's double-sided. So you see on this side, that's perfect for the liquids in the circular. And then when it's more of an oval that's a little bit more narrow, that's perfect for getting into like a seasoning thing. It's set up so you can go in there and scoop out what you need and be able to get it out the perfect amount. And then it even comes with a leveler that you can put right on the front there, and it all sticks together, as you can see, from the magnetic. So the things that we're looking at here today are we want non-toxic and we want things that are smart about your space.
There you go. That's going to do that for you. And then last but not least, we have some tongs over here. What's special about these?
Great thing about these tongs is they come with wood tips on it. So number one, it looks a little bit different. It's got a little bit different of an aesthetic, but then it's also got that non-toxic thing that we're looking for with everything.
Incredible. All right, Jacob, these are all going to be so helpful this year as everyone is trying to cook and make those healthy meals at home. I really appreciate you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. Best Reviews is owned by our parent company, Nexstar. And for more on these products and others, you can head to bestreviews.com or you can scan the QR code that you see right there on your screen.
Best Reviews is owned by our parent company, Nexstar. You can find more on the products and where to buy them on WANE.com.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
Well, that's our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, you can always catch up on episodes and segments of Living Local 15 by going to WANE.com, downloading the WANE app, and also checking us out on YouTube. And I'll leave you with this. While you're out, give a little smile, give a little wave, share a little light and love today. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.